Hello, my name is Brian Tran, and my project is going to be on the tragedy of the commons, air pollution. So just in case, of course, I'm sure you all know, but this idea states that our self-interests are actively hurting our society, or those around us. So for example, overfishing. Of course, we need food, we can just take as much as we want, right? Well, that is actually bad for the population. They won't have enough time to repopulate all that fish, regenerate that, and pump out more food for us. So if we keep on taking them, we're gonna lose that specific species of fish, and it could go extinct, maybe in the future. But this is also based on an economic idea, and it's based on the common good, which means that if something is easily accessible to us, then of course it's also easy for us to exploit that. So everyone loses out, and that one person who takes everything just, sits in riches. So in air pollution, how does it work out? So for example, traffic congestion, we all tend to drive. So if we all just take one car, put it on the highway, of course that would increase traffic, because none of us are actually thinking about carpooling, as seen in this picture. If I just read that out, if these idiots would just take the bus, I could be home by now. And what that means is, if some of us were to take, let's say, buses or trains, or maybe carpool, of course it will reduce the amount of vehicles on the highway. Also, companies or industries who focus on hitting that revenue, they could increase the production, they could also emit more of those harmful emissions into the atmosphere. Of course, air is an important resource for us to live. So how does this affect us? So these greenhouse gases pollute the atmosphere. As said in the last slide, most of us tend to drive, and factories do release harmful pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, and carbon dioxide from vehicles. And in aid, this increases our global temperature, and it can cause global warming in the long run. And it's not without risk, as it increases respiratory illnesses such as affecting our lungs. But it doesn't necessarily affect everyone, because it differs on history. Let's say the amount of exposure or the area where you live in. Let's say China, a very populated place, and it's very smog filled. So this is not really related to this slide, but these are some economic factors that play out. So these are both driven by consumers and producers, saying producer is the one who makes our resources, and consumer is us, the ones who buy them. This is mostly based on personal taste and the profit gains from the companies. Of course, the graph is fueled by supply and demand. Let's say oil. So if we have more supply, then demand might go up, because we need gas. We need to go somewhere. We need transportation. And to others, these can be referred as a common pool resource. Once again, can be accessed by anyone, but it's also limited. So is this still present today? It is still present. As in fact, climate change, we don't tend to think about it much, but because it's more of a short thing. So, not really a short thing, but deforestation and pollution of the ocean are another thing. Temperatures have only increased throughout the following decades, and air quality has also decreased over time, ever since the 1900s. And as of now, Trump actually plans to rule out companies from polluting, which means the rules that aren't in play, the companies are just let off that, so they could just keep on producing whatever they want. And these choices do affect the way we live, so we have to think about that in the future. Are there any potential solutions? There are. So in this small picture right here, we see that there's 5 of them, solar being the most common, and wind also gathers energy by a spinning turbine. I'll just go through some of them. So hydro, it utilizes motion of water to produce energy, and it may require rain for additional fluids. There's also a subcategory for it's called ocean energy, but I left that out since it was pretty much similar to hydro. Geothermal uses heat straight from the earth, and biomass uses natural resources such as coal, wood, and waste. And it's usually, you can tell, biomass is usually more expensive. And solar is usually more cheap nowadays because of that. Are there any additional solutions? So as of now, we could just set up laws that monitor the use of resources, stricter punishments for those who overexploit. As said by Investopedia, it's a good way to put those in their place. Government intervention can also be helpful. And in agriculture, pesticides, chemicals they use for crops may also be regulated. They also have to monitor their use on water for the crops. And all this is done by the Clean Air Act from EPA, which their goal is to reduce air pollution. And these are my sources. And thank you.